Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the first episode from season 3 of one of my new favourite shows, From. Honestly, if you haven't watched this yet, you really need to. We open with a recap from our previous season, which I'm sure will be helpful for a lot of people. However, I watched season 2 yesterday, so everything's pretty fresh. I basically binged this entire series over 2 days, and man, what a ride that was. We open about 3 days after the previous season. This is something I'm quite liking about this show. Between seasons, there never seems to be massive time skips, it just starts right back where it ended. We open right where we left off with Tabitha in a hospital after seemingly escaping from the town. However, even in the real world, Tabitha is still seeing the boy in white. I don't know whether this signifies that the boy in white also holds power in the real world, or whether he's just a figment of her imagination. I sort of like to think that he has no power in the real world, but he echoes those who leave the town and almost remains as a stain in their mind. Tabitha seeks a priest for help and realizes that Invicta's lunchbox is his home address, and it also happens to be in the town she's in, Camden, Maine. This can't be a coincidence, as the boy in white clearly sent her here for something. Tabitha goes to the address and meets Victor's father, who has clearly been a little worse for wear after losing his family. Since the early seasons, it's been clear that Victor knows a lot more than he lets on, and I have a feeling that this is a trait that his father may also have. I'm going to be very curious to see what mission Tabitha has been sent on by the boy in white, and what he meant by "this is the only way." Returning to the From town, things have been better. Winter is now upon us, something that according to Victor has never happened here before, with the town being in a perpetual state of summer since he's been there. On top of that, the town is facing food shortages with crops rotting and facing the aftermath of the previous season. Jade is continuing to get worse with his fixation on the symbol that he keeps seeing, turning to substance and almost complete hysteria, being thrown in the drunk tank for the night to sleep it off. We also get a scene of Ethan doing a jigsaw puzzle, with this puzzle looking damn near identical to Camden, Maine, both on the water with very similar architecture styles. This is just one of many weird coincidences that seem to happen in this town, but I like to think that Victor may have given him this jigsaw puzzle, as this is his hometown and where Tabitha currently is. Kenny and Jim set off to find Tabitha, weirdly enough not talking to Victor first. However, I believe nobody actually knew that she went to Victor to find the way to the lighthouse, and in true Victor style, he's obviously going to say nothing. They run into a very old, rundown stone village surrounded by effigies. I like to think that these are some of the first attempts to scare off the smiley creatures. Were these even possibly the same settlers that figured out the talismans? Who knows? Elgin is still being haunted by the kimono woman that was seen last season. I find it interesting that she not only looks drowned, but also tried to drown him in a dream in the previous season. Also, when he originally got to From Town, he was the one that had the dream on the bus, and the first thing that he actually asked Fatima was if there was a body of water nearby. I don't believe that's a coincidence, and this must be linked to this woman and his dream somehow. Boyd and Donna are going to have to opt for the nuclear option and start slaughtering the animals in order to buy the town time to grow more crops. Ethan walks in on them and asks them to kill Alma first, stating that she then won't have to watch her friends die, which I didn't catch on the first watch, but that's pretty big foreshadowing for the end of this episode. It's hard to exactly quantify, but the creatures act differently in this episode. Don't get me wrong, they've always been pretty intelligent creatures, but this episode they release animals to get the townsfolk chasing after them, with Boyd and Tai Chen returning them to the barn. However, unfortunately, the creatures had a plan and are waiting inside the barn for them. A creature repeats to Boyd what he said about this place being unable to break him, with the creature being hell-bent on proving him wrong, making him watch as they peel Tai Chen like a potato. Wow, I can't believe I just said that. I also didn't come up with that, by the way, I stole that. That's hilarious. Don't get me wrong, this show has always been dark, but this was pretty next level, I think. And if this is how the season is opening, then I'm assuming that things will only get worse, as this episode sets the tone for a very dark season. I feel as though when Kenny and Jim return, Kenny will blame Boyd for not doing something, as will most people, something that I'm not really looking forward to. I mean, what could he do in that situation? He got played, and it's gonna cost the town greatly. Anyway, guys, that will end this video. What are your theories and predictions for the From world and this season as a whole? I expect this season to go really dark, and I'm very for that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.